guys, Jill here, and I wanted to show you my tag from Susan's Tag Swap and just explain a few things to you. So what we're doing is Susan, who's Iowa 2308, she did a tag swap for this month, and then this month, which is October, sorry, she did it last month for September. October is my month, and so we're just going to alternate with the tag swap so that, you know, each of us kind of gets a little break here and there. And Susan mentioned my tag swap on her video, and I already have sign-ups for mine. So we'll go over mine. This is from hers, and we're going to have the same rules each time with certain things, like the tag. We're going to work with the number 8 tag in, I think it's what, portrait, because that would be landscape, so that we combine them at the end. And the number 8 tags, oh my gosh, I just wrote it down and put it away, are 3 1/4 by 6 1/4. And then the one thing that we're asking with the tags is that you put some kind of envelope on the back with your information in it. So I guess we'll start with mine, and I'll show you how I did mine. And for the month of October, we're going to do, it's 6 tags for 6 in return. And if you want to sign up, just send me a private message here on YouTube. If you're not sure how to send a private message, because I know, you know, when you're a new user and stuff, you're not really sure. Susan actually has a video on how to send a private message, how to respond to your private messages, so if there's any confusion there. And so just, you know, you can visit her channel for that. And what was the other requirement? Well, you know, with any swap, you're going to send the tags to me, then you're going to send a return envelope addressed, and it needs to have the same postage, plus I always put in, say, 1 to 2 extra postage stamps, because someone else's tags might be heavier than yours. If there's extra postage, I will send it back to you. No metered mail, please, because those expire before the tag swap is done. And then my swap this month is going to be vintage Halloween, and so this was the vintage dress form swap, so you're going to want to, you know, age it a little bit, grunge it up some, and that is the main rules. So if you're interested, send me a message, and let me just show you my tag. So here's the back. I did a little envelope. I did some punched flowers with the scraps from my paper, and the paper I used was the Tim Holtz. It's like shabby vintage or vintage chic or something like that. That one stack of his with all the pretty colors in it. And it was out last year, so I used that. And I punched out that paper with my number 8 tag die that matches this tag exactly. I used some paper from one of the stacks I had around to make these little envelopes with a Judykins envelope template I have. I put a rhinestone brad in the center of those punched flowers. This is a Spellbinders die with the pink version of this blue paper. And then this stamp set is from my Girls Papery Halloween stamp set that I just got. But it's still a cameo, and that was part of the reason I really liked it, is because I could use it for other things. And I just used my Victorian Velvet, Bundled Sage, and Stormy Sky, my 3 favorite Tim Holtz distress inks. And the image was stamped with, I think it's Liquid Platinum by Ranger embossing pattern. It's just raised up on some pop dots. Then I use some seam binding, and I get that Hug Snug on eBay for like 100 yards for $7 or something insane like that. So I colored it myself with my distress stains. I just smush them out onto my non-stick mat and then kind of crumple it up and put it in a bag and spray it. So I use those same colors throughout. So the Victorian Velvet and the Bundled Sage. And same with this. This was tied with the Bundled Sage, and as you can see, I wrapped it around the tag. The tag itself, I embossed with the Tim Holtz Texture Fade folders, and then it was like so pretty I almost didn't want to cover it up, and I tried to keep some of it showing through. I ran my tea dye distress stain pad over top of the embossed portion, and then put some embossing powder on it and heat set whatever stuck. And then I used my sponge tool and just ran those same 3 colors all over the background. The Stormy Sky, Victorian Velvet, and Bundled Sage. And then I edged it with walnut stain. And I used the Tim Holtz reinforcers. You can see it better on the back. This is really a lot of Tim Holtz product on here. And I used a trinket pin that I attached with the big glue dots there on the back. And then I used the tiny attacher staples to staple that on. The dress form itself, I ran through the chipboard on the Sewing Room die, again Tim Holtz. And then I also ran through a piece of the Claudine Helmuth sticky back canvas. And then this is some of the scraps of the paper that I just ran the Bundled Sage over top of. The paper's a gray. And then I took some Silver Leaf Rub and Buff, and I just ran it along both of the top and the bottom here. And I didn't run the whole die through. I just ran these parts and that part to cover the chipboard. I mean, there was no reason to use all that pattern paper behind this. So this I just stamped on with Victorian Velvet. This is from one of my Tim Holtz stamp sets that I got at Michael's, the ones that they have out right now. And then this is one of the My Mind's Eye stamp sets. And then I just embellished the dress form with some cream colored flat back pearls. And then one of the clay medallions that I make with my molds from Mold Muse. And then I covered that with the Sculpey glaze to give it a little shimmer. And then this is a tissue paper flower. I just cut it out with, I think this was my Stampin' Up! Punch. And I cut, I think it's like 20 from the tissue paper. And I put a brad in the center and crumple it all up. And I love the way that comes out because it's a little bit of shiny textured tissue paper. And then here's my favorite leaves from Recollections that I had like 10 packages of. They're the ones with the text on them. And I did a combination of the stains and my homemade sprays. Like I used the Bundled Sage and Interference Green on this one. And just, you know, dyed those. And then I added some of that, it's called Brune Trim, which is brown, from scrapbooks that I got, and I sandwiched it between the tag and the back. And so there's my tag, and then I just put it on a background, and that's another Tim Holtz stamp set. So there's my tag for her swap. I've already sent them off, but here's the one that I kept. So just to give you an idea, again with the Halloween one, it's going to have a similar layout, just obviously Halloween. So if you're interested in participating in that swap, let me know. I'll send you my address. And then if you have any questions, also let me know. But just send me a private message and sign up for that. And we're going to have it, you're going to get your tags back right after, the week after Halloween, because I want to give you guys some time to get this into me. So let's make the due date actually the 29th, and then I'll swap them out that following week. But if you're like me, Halloween, I could get Halloween stuff all year and I'd be happy. Okay, there you go. And thanks for stopping by and have a great day.